Hello again, everyone. Edwin Lerner back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about Venus conjunct Saturn in a natal chart. Now, some of you may remember when I first started my YouTube astrology channel, I did a series on the aspects of a natal chart. They're a little bit concise, and some people may have referred to them as snappy, so what I decided to do was make another series on them in which the videos would be a little bit longer and more descriptive. So anyway, first thing up is, well, if you have Venus conjunct Saturn in a natal chart, one way it may manifest is that there can be a very intense love and enjoyment, which is Venus, for one's career, which can be connected with Saturn. Now, let's say if Saturn is in Aquarius, as an example, a career may be tied in with humanitarian or altruistic work. It could be something associated with astrology, astronomy, computers, electronics, meteorology, aviation, innovation, as some examples. Now, if Saturn, say, is in Taurus, as another example, career-related matters, maybe going about in a very, persistent, patient manner. There's a lot of perseverance that may be tied in with something Taurus-related, such as geology, or carpet laying, architecture, agriculture, gardening, cultivation, banking, finance, as some examples. Now, another thing too is if you have this aspect in your natal chart, another way it may be expressed is there may be much concentration, which is Saturn in making money, which is Venus. Now, let's say if Venus is in Aries, as an example, money may be made in military or some position that requires, leadership prowess and ability. It could be doing something, in speech therapy or something with physiology, sports even. It might be more, combative sports, which can be, some examples could be boxing, judo, kickboxing, wrestling, or one of the more volatile sports such as hockey or boxing, as some hockey or football, as some examples. Now, also too, you may strongly value, which is Venus, just hard work and laborious efforts, which is Saturn. Now, let's say, if you have Saturn, in Virgo, as an example, those efforts might be tied in with health and fitness. It could be, doing, something, Virgo related, field, whether it's working as a nutritionist, dietitian, physician, doing something with analytics, statistics, organizing, something that involves compartmentalizing, as some examples. And also too, another way this aspect may be expressed is that the self-worth, which is Venus, may be strongly connected with what you accomplish, which is Saturn. Now, let's say if Saturn is in Leo, as an example, those things that can be accomplished may be tied in with acting, entertainment. It may have to do with some kind of performing or something with circus, as an example, or work with children, working in cardiology, or something that, product demonstration could apply, because I would say that, Leo, likes to boast up things, and people that are involved in product demonstration often boast up, the products that they're selling, so to speak. So another thing too is that you may take, things related with art, artistic endeavors, which is Venus, very seriously, which is Saturn. Now, let's say if Venus is in Pisces, as an example, artistic endeavors, maybe, abstract art or fiction, fantastical art, something with fantasy. It could be something with boating or fishing or the sea. If, let's say, if, another example could be Venus, let's say it's in, Scorpio, it might be more gothic art or like supernatural, kind of art, as another example. Now, another thing too, is that your, relationships, which is Venus, including important friends, may often be with older, mature, people that are structured, and they could be ones that have longevity and that are enduring, which is Saturn. Now, let's say if Venus is in Libra, as an example, one or more of those people, may actually be, Libra, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant, person, or embody, those characteristics. It could be, people that are very charming, diplomatic, tactful, refined, cooperative, peaceful, equitable, but maybe indecisive and ambivalent, as well, as an example. Now, another thing too is that you may desire, career and, a business, which is Saturn, in a setting that, where it's very peaceful and tranquil, which is Venus. Now, let's say, if Saturn is in Capricorn, as an example, that business, may be tied in with, it could be architecture, construction, doing something with masonry, dentistry, accounting, information technology, as some examples. And also too, Saturn is chronic issues, so there may be chronic issues when you have this conjunction. It could be with the neck, the throat, the thyroid, kidneys, or lower back, which is Venus. Now, let's say if you have this conjunction in Aquarius, that may be, where those issues may be intermittent, sporadic, erratic. It might be more, really more nerve related. And also too, another thing too, and also too, this is where, talents, abilities, Venus is, there may be, certain, I guess you could say, a way, another way this aspect, may manifest in a natal chart is that, talents and abilities, which is Venus, may be connected, with business. It could be math. It could be structure. Structure could include something like construction. It could even be putting things like, those models, the die-cast models, whatever they are, together, because it's structure. It's putting something together. Mathematical, ability, as some examples. And let's say if the conjunction is in Virgo, it may be done, in a more systematic, methodical manner, with a lot of precision, very strong, attention to details, as an example. And also too, there may be, much planning, which is Saturn. Saturn is about planning, premeditation. It could be in generating income, accumulating possessions, which is Venus. Now, let's say, Venus is in Pisces, as an example. Those, possessions may be connected with fishing or boating, things with the metaphysical, which includes astrology, and maybe things associated with, aquatics, or like oceanography. The thing about it is, too, if you have, this aspect in your natal chart, legal issues, which is Venus, may be, associated, with a place of business or one's career. It might be with authority. It may be, chronic issues, and it could be something like, unfair, termination. I would say if this was in Libra, especially, that could be, an example. And the thing is, now let's say, if you have Saturn, say in Sagittarius, as an example, those chronic issues may be tied in, it could be, some, as some example, something, when you look at this, Sagittarius, say thighs, as an example. It could be liver, as another problem, sciatic nerve, as things that may be, as far as chronic issues may go. And also too, there may be certain restrictions and limitations, which is Saturn, as far as expressing sentiments, which is Venus. Now let's say Venus is in Leo. Those sentiments may often be expressed in a very loud and vociferous type of manner, very grand, kind of matter. Sometimes they may be dramatized to some degree, as an example. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Lerner saying, stay well.